morning. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about the difference between YouTube and TikTok. And I'm going to talk to you guys while I'm doing my makeup for the day. But the reason that this video came to mind was because in a video that I made about the difference between making 4 figures, 5 figures, and 6 figures was the main platforms that creators use. So we're going to get all into that today and talking about the difference between the two platforms and pretty much which platform you should be putting your eggs into. So I just woke up, so I'm just gonna do some lymphatic drainage while I'm talking about this. But essentially from that Kajabi article, they really noted that creators that were making 6 figures and above from content creation had their main platforms be either TikTok or YouTube. And in that video, I talked about a bunch of different ways that you can monetize and how creators who are making 6 figures are monetizing their channels. But one of the main things that stuck out to me was the difference between YouTube and TikTok and how creators are monetizing it. So first, I'm gonna talk about TikTok and just how the platform works in terms of monetization and creating and all those things. So TikTok started as a dance platform, like a dance app for kids is what people knew it as before 2020. But since then, it has exploded into this big short form content platform where creators can just pick up their phones and create content very easily. So the barrier to entry for TikTok is very, very low because just about anyone who's using the app has a phone, and anyone who has a phone can create content that essentially can go viral overnight. The beauty about TikTok and why a lot of creators really enjoyed it at the beginning, like in its early stages, was because of the discoverability aspect. So TikTok will push your video to people who are interested in that topic, regardless of whether or not those people follow you or they don't follow you. So the chances of you going viral on TikTok are significantly higher than any other platform because it just has to be a trending topic, a trending sound, a trending video, or something of value that people really enjoy and people really like. So that can be a topic or a video that is very thought out, but it can also be a topic or a video that is just spur of the moment that you make when you're out with your friends, when you're at home, when you're on your couch, anything. The way creators have been able to massively monetize TikTok is not necessarily through its creator fund, which has been revamped several times since the birth of the app, but creators typically will make a lot of money through brand deals and long-term partnerships because again, TikTok is a really great way for people to discover you. So whether or not you have a platform or any other app, you can find creators every single day that are on TikTok that you have never heard of because of the algorithm and how quickly things can go viral on TikTok. Now, the other thing I definitely want to note is that I have no idea if TikTok's going to be around next year, if the TikTok ban is going to actually go through or not. TikTok did hold a TikTok Creators Summit in November 2024. And during that summit, they did not make any plans or did not even address what would happen if the app shut down. All of their plans for TikTok moving forward are beyond January 2025. So this company itself is treating it as if they are still going to be around after January 2025. So that's what I'm assuming for the sake of this video. So because of the discoverability and the easy accessibility that the app has, it's a really great way for people to monetize very, very quickly. So you can, and I have seen creators do this where they will start creating on TikTok, posting 3 times a day for 3 months. They grow a following and now they're getting brand deals. In my own experience, it only took me about 6 months to start getting brand deals when I was posting on TikTok. So it is a very quick way for you to make money faster than any other platform has acted before. And again, because you were getting content from brands and from creators that you've never seen before, it's a great way for you to learn about something new. TikTok has also implemented this search function within the last year and a half. So it has a search bar that you can go to, you can find different topics. So essentially it's acting almost like a Google where people can go and find very short form videos on the topic that they're looking for, and they can get that answer very quickly. However, the difference between TikTok and any other platform is that views and engagement is not necessarily consistent. So if you are someone that has a great following or, of let's say 100,000 followers on TikTok, you will probably notice that all of your videos are not being seen, or majority of your videos are not being seen by your audience members or people who follow you. And that is because TikTok pushes your videos, people who are interested in that topic and based on the engagement of that video. So unlike any other platform where your videos will go to your audience members first, TikTok does not do that. And because of that, people often think they are shadow banned, but essentially they're not actually shadow banned on the app. It's just that the algorithm doesn't like their content for whatever reason, whether people don't like their content or the algorithm doesn't like your. It's not necessarily that your content is shadow banned, that your profile is shadow banned. It's that TikTok is essentially an algorithm that is looking for certain things within your content. What that means is you have to be creating consistently on the app. It is one of the apps that requires consistency the most because how finicky your content can be. You can be getting great engagement every single day for a month, and then all of a sudden it just stops. So because of the inconsistencies on the app, a lot of big brands that have long-term strategies typically don't spend too much time promoting on TikTok because of how inconsistent it is. Now that varies depending on what the brand is and who they are and what their strategy is, but essentially a lot of brands still don't understand how to promote their products on TikTok because of how inconsistent the platform is. As a creator, though, there's so many different ways that you can monetize on TikTok, and it really just depends on your consistency with those monetization methods. So, like I said, a lot of big creators do make their money off of brand deals, and those brand deals are based on the engagement, the influence, and a bunch of other factors. And what is going on today? Why am I getting these calls? So creators that are getting brand deals on TikTok are creators that are getting a little bit more consistent interactions and engagement. However, even their interactions and their engagement is not promised. It is not always consistent across all of their videos. Now, the other ways that people are monetizing on TikTok, like I said, are the creator program, and that was revamped at the end of 2023 to now become the creator rewards program, where creators are paid based on views. And this is the first time that TikTok has really tried to compensate creators for their viewership, because when the creator program first came out, it was impossible to make a living off of the creator fund, even if you were one of the most followed creators in the world. However, now TikTok will pay you based on the views that you're receiving on that video, as long as that video is hitting the For You page. So if your video is not on the For You page, people are going to your profile and viewing all of your videos, you're not going to get paid for those views. Now, this is very similar to YouTube's ad revenue program, where you're paid based on views. However, YouTube has a way for the brands that are being advertised will pay both YouTube, and they'll give creators a portion of that money, aka that ad revenue that you make from YouTube. TikTok doesn't necessarily have that. It has a version of it called the Pulse program. It's something that people don't typically talk about because it's not all that widely known. You have to have at least 100,000 followers to even be eligible, as well as there's a certain view count that you have to have as well. Because the content primarily is short form on TikTok, the platform itself is having a hard time monetizing it in terms of ad revenue. As a creator, though, you can still be monetized through the creator marketplace. So there are brand partnerships that you can apply through on the app to be applicable for, and work with brands to do. You can also offer subscriptions to your audience where they either get access to exclusive content, and this is pretty similar to almost any other app. So they have subscription based, and they also have a live subscription, which is where the audience members that are subscribed to you, they pretty much get a special badge that is associated with their name whenever they are in one of your lives. But even without having live subscriptions, you can still make money from your lives based on your audience members sending you donations or just sending you gifts, essentially, which you can then cash out and make money from. So a few other platforms have live subscriptions and live gifting. So it's not all that different from any other platform. However, because of the discoverability aspect of TikTok and the low barrier to entry, a lot of creators are able to make that their main platform because it's easy for them to grow. It's easier for them to reach new customer base or a new follower base every single day. It's also easy for them to be discovered by brands that are looking for creators to work with, and you can get a lot of views very quickly. You can go viral overnight very, very quickly. Then what is the benefit then of YouTube? So with YouTube, it is higher barrier to entry, meaning that a lot of YouTube content that you see on this platform is more production style, more higher quality. So the audio is higher quality, the lighting. A lot of people will shoot their YouTube content in a studio, or they're trying to make it look a little more professional because YouTube is a long form content app. Essentially, there is a lot more that people can do with YouTube with longer content. And because the viewers are watching that longer content for more time, advertisers are able to put their ads in between the video. So YouTube gets a cut of that ad, and then also the creator gets a cut of that ad money. So as a creator, you can get paid much more from the YouTube ad revenue program versus the TikTok creator program, because you are keeping your viewers interested for longer periods of time, aka you're going to make more money from the ad revenue than you would from TikTok. And this is again strictly for long form videos. YouTube does have YouTube Shorts where you can get paid based on the views for YouTube Shorts. However, that CPM or that value is significantly lower than the CPM that you would get on TikTok. So if you're a creator that's trying to figure out if you should put all your eggs into a YouTube basket or a TikTok basket, you can essentially be doing both at the same time, even if you're just posting shorts or, short form content. But what a lot of people don't know about YouTube is that YouTube is a longer standing platform than other apps. So like I talked about with TikTok, they have the search bar. You can go and search the content and find short form videos. But a lot of people generally will go to YouTube to also search for that content. And any videos that you have on your YouTube page that pop up in the search, so if you're ranking in search, you will consistently be getting paid for those views. So unlike TikTok, where you're getting paid for the views that are on the For You page, which is a timely manner, right? So you're on the For You page for a few days and then you have to make another video to then be on the For You page. YouTube will pay you regardless of where that view comes from. So if it comes from the search bar, if it comes from your home page, if it comes from just your audience subscription page, YouTube is going to pay you regardless of where the viewers are finding you. Now, the other thing about YouTube is that it also allows you to have different supers, and membership programs that you can run through the platform. So this is something that I know few creators are using, but it's somewhat similar to other platforms where you can have memberships for your audience members, for your super fans. You can also put your own gear, so any of your merchandise that you sell on your platform, you can put that directly on the video so people can buy it straight from the video. You can also tag any products, so similar to like an affiliate program, any products that you're using, like this highlighter, for example, you can attach it to your video and people can buy it directly from your video as they are watching you. So those are some of the ways that you can monetize through YouTube. A lot of creators, again, will have brand deals. Now, in comparison to TikTok brand deals, a lot of the YouTube brand deals are much higher because, again, your audience is watching longer form content. You have their attention for much longer, and brands are willing to pay much more for viewership, even if you have a significantly lower following on YouTube. If you have 100,000 followers on TikTok, you can have 10,000 subscribers on YouTube and be making the same amount of money in brand deals for both of those platforms. And the reason why, again, is because your audience is paying attention to you much longer on YouTube versus when they are on TikTok. And because your audience is paying more attention to you, they're more likely to trust you, to trust what you say, to really just like you and like your content. It takes a different type of viewer to be connected to you through a long form video versus something that is, a 90-second video or a 7-second video or a 10-second video. So a lot of times the audience members on YouTube are much more invested in your content versus the audience on TikTok. And because of that, brands are going to pay for it. On that note, a lot of people or YouTubers who build a following on this platform have a much more dedicated audience that really likes and understands them as a person and also as a creator. So any YouTuber that you know or that you follow or that you have been following for years, you're probably more likely to go to any of their events that they're hosting or any type of programs that they hold or anything. A lot of people that are on YouTube and get their breaks on YouTube tend to have longer careers in content creation because they have that audience and that community from their YouTube following that takes them years and years and years down the line. Whereas on TikTok, you can go viral today, but the next person's going viral the next day, and the next person's going viral the next day, and so on and so forth. And people tend to forget about you if you're someone that's not consistent, if you're not always posting, if you're just here, a few months and then you go away. So it's less likely for your audience to really be dedicated to you on TikTok versus YouTube because simply the content is just shorter and they have no idea who you are, and there's the next person that's blowing up tonight anyway. Now, one thing that YouTube is doing differently than TikTok, and it's essentially because YouTube is a longer platform, but YouTube is allowing creators to have their own TV shows on their YouTube channels. So this is a new feature that's rolling out very soon, so I would expect in 2025. But essentially, you no longer have to work under a studio or a production company or pretty much anyone else. You can create and produce your own content here on YouTube, and it can be your own TV show. So you don't even have to go to an executive board and pitch your show like you had to, back in the day. This is super beneficial for content creators, for one, because they don't have to go through all of those different barriers of entry to, Hollywood. But but they also have control over their own show, and they can monetize their own show by putting out those episodes every week or however often they decide to do so. So this is very different than anything TikTok has done or TikTok is able to do, because TikTok is a short form platform. So it's, your 9:16 content or interface, and people are typically going to scroll. If anything horizontal pops up, people are less likely to watch it because it's not something that they're looking for on TikTok, but it's something that they definitely are looking for on YouTube. So because of that, I believe, and this is just my opinion, that YouTube is a much more stable platform for you to create on if you are someone who wants to play the long game. Discoverability is significantly harder on YouTube because you really have to know how to use SEO to get your videos to be seen by the right people. And you also have to be consistent on this platform for longer. There have been times where I posted a video and it got 10 views during the first week, and then 6 months later, it's my highest viewed video on my channel. So it's something that really takes a long time for you to build up and build out, but consistency is the most important. I mean, between all platforms, no matter what platform you're on, consistency is definitely the most important. However, consistency lasts longer, in my opinion, on YouTube versus on TikTok or even Instagram, because those are more short form platforms where the content turnover is significantly faster. An example of this is any creator that's blown up on TikTok. They were the talk of the town for a few weeks. Even after that, pretty much died down until the next person blows up. So it's less likely for you to have a long-standing career, especially if you're like a small creator on TikTok versus YouTube. But again, the discoverability on TikTok is much easier compared to YouTube because you don't have to really do too much on the SEO end. TikTok kind of does all of that for you. So with that being said, if you created a video today and then you posted it today and then it doesn't take off until 6 months later, now you have an audience that is really invested in the content that you're talking about, and you have to continue posting about that content to keep that audience engaged. Or slowly pivot into a new niche or pivot into different types of content. But it's a much longer game than any other platform. So hopefully this video was helpful for you guys in understanding the differences between the two platforms and helping you decide which platforms to create on. Let me know if you have any questions down below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.